Welcome back to Q Dads, guys, and yes, it's me, Ben, and we are continuing the rewatch with episode 6, which of course does go a little bit deeper into the day's spiritual awakening, and of course Farah taking the crew of the people to begin the journey to the legendary ghost ship, the Invictus. This also does kick off the beginning of Foundation Week, as we've got the rest of Season 1 crammed into this short little space. But if you are enjoying this rewatch, then please do hit that subscribe button and of course that notification bell and all the jazz that just comes with it, because we will keep you up to date with Season 3 of Foundation in just a couple months time. And yes, we will have other stuff coming your way like Squid Game, and once we hit the end of Season 1, I will be bringing you at the end of this week a breakdown of Harry Seldon and his psycho history before we dive deep into Season 2. So let's waste no time and let's dive straight in. And of course, let's have that discussion in the comments, guys. So we start the episode with some narration of Gale before we see Brother Day travelling to Maiden, the sacred moon. Now, it was mentioned by Demoiselle that the planet Tahal was separated into three to create the three moons: Mother, Maiden and Crone. Now, with Maiden being the only hospitable one. Now, she did mention that this faith started 15,000 years ago, and the faith now has over 3 trillion followers, echoing the importance of this religion and the impact it can have against the Empire. Now, this matriarchal faith worships the Mother, the Maiden and the Crone, symbolising the 3 major stages of womanhood, and also reflecting that circular nature of life. This trinity also mirrors the real-world mythological structures, the triple goddesses of neo-paganism and the fates in the Greek mythology as well. They represent the youth, the purity and the potential, the creation, the fertility and the nurturing, and then of course embodies wisdom, experience and the end of the life cycle. So Zephyr Halama is a major luminous leader and meets and greets Empire and kind of ensures from the offset that she is currently calling the shots. Now, just before this, it was nice to see the sunlight blinding Day, but not Demoiselle, who didn't even blink. And again, this is just one of the many subtle nods that remind us that she is a robot. Now, he supports Zephyr Gillette, who is a candidate aligned with the Empire's interests and offers to construct a planet-wide desalination system to secure her election. But back on Trantor, Brother Dawn deepens his secret relationship with Azura, and he confides in her about being colourblind and the genetic anomalies indicating that deviation from the Cleon clone's genetic template. Now, he mentions something to Azura about being able to see beauty.
It's beautiful.
If you can see beauty, it is.
And I just found this really engaging. Dawn just wants to see the world how everyone else does, and to be seen how the world sees him. But to conceal these, he manipulates the results of a hunting ritual with the ghillie raptors and insists that he only got 3. Now, and this is clearly a better result than his so-called genetic failings, so I don't quite understand why he didn't just boast about it in a typical Empire fashion. Dusk then grows suspicious of Dawn's behaviour and introduces him to the Gosmere Court, a place where Cleons can express themselves freely, possibly as a means to monitor or influence him, which is a very seedy part of the Cleonic dynasty and probably should raise more flags than it does. But of course, Dusk learns this information from Dawn's friend and instructs him to be followed, allowing us to see that cloaking device. Now, there is a point later in the episode that I could have sworn the background was blurry, and it was when Dawn was being watched, or it was just the focus of the camera, but I couldn't quite tell. Back on Terminus, Sal is rescued by none other than Polly, and has a plan, of course, to take down the Anacreon corvettes. Now, on the way, she experiences a seizure-like vision, placing her in Gale's perspective during Harry Seldon's murder. She witnesses Raish killing Harry, but also a plan intended to separate Raish and Gale due to their romantic involvement. And this revelation, of course, highlights that Gale's unexpected presence in the escape pod disrupts Harry's original plan, which is then confirmed in the next episode. Now, at this point, Sal's mentalic powers are becoming more powerful with the ability to tap into other memories. Now, meanwhile, Farah coerces the Foundation members into repairing the Invictus, a derelict Imperial warship, and takes a few key players with her, including the commander, to ensure that they have the relevant people needed. Sal attempts to destroy the Anacreon corvettes to hinder their plans, but it is incapacitated by her vision. Her father, Abbas, sacrifices himself to complete the mission, successfully destroying the corvettes, which was an explosive and heart-wrenching moment at the same time. To see Sal lose her dad, but also struggle with the concept of fate. Now, did she do the right thing when she was following Harry's plan, or is she actually hindering it? And I suppose no one actually knows at this point. And we ourselves at home often struggle with that same dilemma. Usually whether the second donut was the right move or not, but still, similar concept. Now, after returning from the destruction, Sal and her partner Hugo are captured by Farah. To ensure Sal's cooperation in piloting the beggar in the Anthor Belt, Hugo programs the ship to respond only to Sal, making her now a pivotal player in Farah's plan, which I thought was just an incredibly great move and very smart for a 70-year-old guy. But every time I see Hugo, it always makes me think of the mule. You know, which for me makes the mule clearly Thespin with those bright blue, powerful eyes. Could they be doing this all along to get back at Empire for the original move to destroy their planet? So this whole season 1 is essentially about the Anacreons trying to get revenge on Empire. Could we be leading to season 3 and a Thespin mule trying to get revenge on Empire again for the same thing? But of course, before season 3, I will confirm you all of my mule theories and our season 3 theories, of course, before we dive into that. And I must admire from this episode, the fact that Polly's friend beat the crap out of one of these Anacreons was just incredibly crazy to see. But of course, guys, that is all for this episode 6 rewatch. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. What did you enjoy about this episode? Are you currently enjoying this Farah storyline, or can you not just wait for it to end? And yes, we do have the rest of season 1 coming up this week before the weekend when we dive into Harry and Psycho history. So as always, don't forget to subscribe, but more importantly, hit us in the comments. We love having those conversations with you and really interacting. That's why we do YouTube, and we're, proud to start creating this community with you guys over such an amazing show like Foundation. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time with something new.